We launched something really exciting that I want to share. A lot of entrepreneurs are lacking clarity because there's so much noise. I think procrastination is a huge teacher. Screw balance. When you are pursuing the extraordinary, you're not pursuing balance. Clarity, obsession, and passion, and radical messy action, you literally can't go wrong. Embodied CEOs don't chase trends. They pave the way. They lead from within, moved by purpose, unshaken by noise. When you are the source, you do not need permission. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We are in November, last few months of the year, holiday season. I have a really good feeling about the next year, and in any time in the holiday season, I try to find as much presence as possible. Slow down, enjoy it with my kids. I'm very aware that I only get so many with them in the house. So that's what we'll be doing. And, start thinking like, what are the things that I wanted to do this year that I haven't done yet? There are a few goals. There are a few things that I want, and putting some focus into that. We launched something really exciting that I want to share. And then what I want to talk about today is going to be kind of connected to that. So we launched a new membership called Obsessed, and it is only $7 a month, like a complete no-brainer price, because I want to build a community that I can really pour into. And I also want that community to be off social media, because right now I myself am not very aligned with being actively on social media, still putting content out there, but it's not on my phone. And it hasn't been for 3 weeks now. And so I went back and forth because we wanted to go the direction of a Facebook group at first, and we launched a Facebook group a while ago, and it just I don't want Facebook on my phone. So that's kind of a problem. And so I want to build a community that I can pour into. It's a no-brainer price. And this name and this whole concept is perfect, perfect for me. So inside of this membership, which you can join for only $7 a month, and you get a monthly focus session with me. So I'm about to teach one on Black Friday strategy. So literally just that alone, would be worth $7. So every single month I'm going to teach a workshop in there. Every week I'm dropping an audio, and the first few have been fire. It's like a 5 to 10 minute audio, and then I give you a prompt. And so it's getting you to think about different things in your business, different things in your life. The first one was looking at, where's there too much noise in your business, and how could you take more radical action without that noise and have more courage? And so the takeaways from that were incredible. So you get that. And then we're also going to have a monthly note that we drop that will really have strategies that are working right now, ads that are working, things I'm obsessed with, and just kind of like an insider, but really easy to consume. So it's not meant to be more information. And then of course, on top of that is the community, which is really awesome. So if you go to embodiedmarketing.com/obsessed, you can join that. And I'm obsessed with the name because it is so me. It is for the entrepreneurs who are all in. And I love this concept of being obsessed with the life and the business you're building. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. But when I look at successful people that I look up to that, are building the dream, they're not balanced and mediocre. It's they're filled with passion. They are filled with obsession over what they're doing, and not an unhealthy obsession. But it's those people that are magnetic because they love what they're doing so much, and they love what they're passionate about, and they can't stop talking about it. And it's contagious when you're around them, because you're I want to feel that passion. And I think that people who are here to do really great things, that's how they show up. If you want to be balanced and, everything just be mediocre, that's fine. That is actually what some people want in their life. It's not what I want, and I don't think it's what you guys want, because a lot of you like that energy that I bring. And so today what I want to talk about is kind of 3 pieces that are critical in business and life, and go in this specific order. I guess you could call it a formula. I don't really want to call it a formula because I don't know. I just think the formula for this is so overdone. So we're not calling it a formula, but you can think of it that way. I'm going to teach, because I think these things have to happen in this order. And anything that you want to create in your business, whether that's launching a new offer, hitting a big goal, or your life, some sort of lifestyle goal or achievement or reality that you want to create. This is how. This is the truth of how you do it. And it's the formula quote that I see time and time again. The first step of this that has to happen, that I think most people lack without realizing they're lacking it, is clarity. A lot of us and a lot of entrepreneurs are lacking clarity because there's so much noise. And they're lacking clarity on where they actually want to go, what that future looks like for their business in terms of revenue and how it's going to come together like that. You don't have to know every detail, because I think you have to leave room for the unknown, because as you go to implement things, you're going to get feedback that you couldn't have planned on. But clarity in terms of like, what are you building and why are you building it? What if I was to wave a magic wand and create your perfect day, your perfect reality, what would that actually be? What's the impact you're here to have? What's the mission? What's the bigger purpose? And how do you see leveraging your gifts and your natural wisdom and experience and what you're here to do in this life? How do you see leveraging that to bring that to reality? And to be honest with you, like a lot of people that I ask this to, because I have I have these deep conversations all the time. Like, you take me out to coffee and this is what we're talking about. They're not clear. But yet people are not clear on this, but they still chase. They're still in pursuit, but they don't fully know what they're in pursuit of. And I think it's because we don't pause enough to actually ask ourselves these questions and get clear. And if we're not clear, everything feels fuzzy and everything feels hard and everything feels like you're doing things and you're spinning on the hamster wheel, but you're not going anywhere. So the first thing is clarity. And I think this can also be on a micro level in your business. It's like, okay, what is the actual strategy you're trying to execute? What's the goal behind it? What does success look like? Most business owners I speak with, they don't know their numbers. They don't really know the exact strategy they're trying to pursue and optimize, and the goal behind it, and like that all-in focus. So you've got to have the clarity on the bigger things, the mission, the purpose, the why, the direction we're going, the reality we're creating, the dream we're building. Then you have to have the clarity on the micro things. How are we going to do it? What are the actions that we think are going to be the most chance of getting us there? And I think a lot of times clarity has to come from asking the right questions and sitting in stillness with the answers. And I spend a lot of time on this. And when you're clear. When you are clear, you can then move into momentum. When you're not clear, you want to move into momentum and move into doing and move into action and move into building and all of those things. But it's that feeling of like, I'm doing all these things and it's not going anywhere. I'm spinning my wheels. And a lot of entrepreneurs feel this way. So you've got to get that clarity first. So that's one of my big goals inside of this membership, is like continually ask you guys the questions every single week that bring you more clarity. Because when you're clear, you could execute way more powerfully. So that's the first thing. And so my first kind of question for you, if you're listening to this, is like, where are those places in your life and business that you're not clear? When you really like look at how you spent the last week, how you've spent the last month, where you're putting your time and your energy, where are those places that you're like, wait, why am I doing this? And like, what is this for? And where's like my dream a little fuzzy, and my goals and the impact I'm here to have and all these things? Where is it fuzzy? Could I explain this so crystal clearly to Emily if she was sitting across from me having coffee and she asked me this? What's the message? What's the mission? These are big questions. It's okay if you're not clear on them. But having that clarity becomes like your lighthouse. When something challenging happens, when you hit a roadblock, when you're feeling frustrated or defeated, that clarity is what gets you through. Because you have the clarity to say, no, we still have to move forward with this. We still have to pursue this. We still have to do this anyways, because this is where we're going. When you lack that clarity, it gets really easy to be like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm just not going to do this. Or I don't even know really why I'm doing this. So I'll just procrastinate it. Where are the places you're procrastinating? A lot of times we procrastinate because we either are not clear why we're doing it, or we actually don't even believe in doing that thing. We've just told ourselves we have to do that. I think procrastination is a huge teacher. I think a lot of people procrastinate for deeper reasons. And sometimes the deeper reason is because your brain has actually decided that that thing is not really productive. I know I do that. Like if I'm procrastinating something, sometimes I look at it and then I'm like, oh, it's because I don't really think that's a priority. I don't actually think that's going to move the needle as much as this thing. But we need that clarity. The second thing we need is obsession, is passion, is that all in attitude, because that is unstoppable. And people that I look up to most, and when I reflect on the seasons of my life where I was in and am in the most momentum, it's when I'm really clear on where I'm going, what I'm building, and what the bigger picture is. And I'm clear on the actions I need to take to get there. And then I pursue that with an obsession, with a passion. And I saw this video, I reshared it on my Instagram like a month ago when I was still on social media, and it was like, screw balance. Like everybody's talking about having a work-life balance and a balanced life. When you are pursuing the extraordinary, you're not pursuing balance. Balance literally means equal amounts of effort into everything, which means everything becomes mediocre. Let's pursue a passionate life. That doesn't mean we get out of alignment with where we put our time. It doesn't mean we don't spend any time with our family and we work all the time. That's not in alignment with what we're building. But there are no rules in how much you work and what you do in certain seasons and what that looks like for you and your life and your family. And it's also going to change all the time. It's not about the what, it's about how you do it. And are you showing up in your business with that energy? Because that energy is truly unstoppable. Like when I meet an entrepreneur, if I meet a new entrepreneur and I talk to them and I can feel this like unwavering commitment to what they're building and to their dreams and to the life that they want to have in this, whatever it is they're building. If I can feel that commitment, I know without a doubt they will be successful. Because what that does is it means when things happen that cause disappointment, rejection, failure, and don't work out, they're going to be fine because they have a purpose and a dream and a drive that is bigger than the roadblocks. And they execute with that passion. And I've always been like this all my life, like that all-in personality. It's got a lot of positives. It's got some struggles that come with it. But I truly believe it's the secret. When I try to pursue anything in my life, if I'm not all in, if I'm not passionate and like lit up and excited about it and just like buzzing with the energy from it, then I may as well not even really pursue it, because why? So you need the clarity on the big and the little, and then you need to back it up with the obsession, with the all-in mentality and the all-in energy of I am building the extraordinary. I'm doing the unthinkable. I'm making the rules. I'm creating my reality. I get to decide that. And that's also the community I want to build in Obsessed. And it's why I love the name so much, because it's like, this is for the entrepreneurs who are all in. This is for the entrepreneurs who are saying, no, I don't want to have to choose between a successful business and being present with my kids. I don't want to have to choose between a successful business and being healthy or getting to travel or you name it. I want it all. I want it all, and I'll have it all, because I'm obsessed with creating that reality. So if you're like, I don't know how to get there, you've got to ask yourself, when do you feel that? When do you feel that electric, alive feeling? where you could like pour yourself into this thing and lose track of time and it doesn't feel like work. Now, is every moment of every day going to be that? No. But when you have the challenging moments that don't feel like this, the obsession, the passion gets you through. So you guys know that I love Joe Dispenza. But one of the things that I love about him and other leaders that I've witnessed outside of their teachings is when he speaks on stage and he talks about, the science of meditation and how it's changing people's physiology and healing them. And like, he gets really into it. You realize like he's obsessed with this. He could spend all day, every single day, talking to scientists, digging deep into this. Like, this is his passion. And when you experience and witness somebody in that place, it's magnetic. Yeah, you trust them because you're like, you have poured yourself into this and you are also, leading a movement that lights you up. Like, who doesn't want that? And you're all in. Like, you're doing the extraordinary, you're doing the different, you're the 4-minute mile. Like, what is your 4-minute mile? Because that's the way it works. It's like you put it out there and you say, this is the reality I want to create. And then you go create that reality and then you make it possible for other people. But if you stay in this space of, I'm just going to do what everybody else has said that they can do and prove that they could do, that's so boring, right? What's your 4-minute mile you get to get obsessed with? And then the final piece of this is taking the messy action. So you have the clarity, you become obsessed with that clarity, with that dream, with that vision. You create a life infused with the passion. And again, I'm not saying every second of every day you have to be this like passionate, person. You're human. You're going to have moments where you're like, F all this and this isn't going to work. I think everybody does, but the passion wins every single time. And then finally, it's the messy action. We are humans. We are here to do. That's how we create. We go from here to here. We are in motion and we have to take that messy action. We have to be so obsessed with where we're going and so committed to the process, not just the finish line, that taking that messy action is just a non-negotiable. Because that messy action is where you learn what's working. And the only way to learn it is through doing, is through experience. Like, we learn as humans through experience as the number one way. Like, I could sit here and teach at you all day long. You could study books. You could listen to podcasts. You could do all the things. But if you don't actually go do the things and go experience it and get the feedback from it, it's like, oh, hey, that worked. That didn't work. That felt good. That didn't feel good. You're not going to go very far. You're not going to go very far very fast. And so the faster you take the action, the messy action, you tune out everybody who's telling you it's not possible, not a good idea, it's too much, it's too scary, are you sure? All those people that are led by fear. You're led by passion. You're led by the belief in the unthinkable. You are led by the belief in you're creating a reality that doesn't exist yet. That's all that drives you. Everything else, tune it out and take the messy action. Record the video, launch the offer, send the email, do the thing, pitch yourself, shoot your shot on the podcast. Like, you're going to get 100 no's and you're going to get a few yeses. And those yeses are going to lead to the next thing. And you don't know what those are. So we get so caught up in like needing predictability because that's how we are wired, that when we don't have predictability, we don't take the action. Those three things, clarity, obsession and passion, and radical messy action, you literally can't go wrong. It's never a matter of never a matter of if you're successful. Maybe you'll be successful. Like, no, you are already successful if that is how you are operating. You're on the journey. You're on the journey of different new layers of success every week, every month, every year. And I'm going to add one more piece to this. Those were the 3 parts. But as I'm talking, the last thing I want to say that needs to be present in like the formula is gratitude and joy. And the more I really sit in stillness and be present with myself in this season of a lot, happening personally, the more I realize like gratitude and joy is a choice. It's not based on an external circumstance. It's not based on only when my business is going exactly how I want it to go. It's not based on when people are doing what I want them to do. It's not based on the good days where I get everything done and nothing goes wrong. It's a choice. It's a choice that I get to make every single day. I get to choose gratitude. I get to choose joy. And I was having a conversation with my mentor like maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was a tough conversation. Hour and a half, emotional. I was sitting in it. And at the end of the conversation, he said, this is going to sound crazy, Emily, but I want you to think about where can you find joy in what you get to walk through right now. And I've thought about it since. It's like, it's a choice. There's joy and gratitude in every moment, in all the small moments, and you either choose it or you don't choose it. You can choose to look at what's not working. You can choose to look at what you don't have yet. You can choose to look at what's going, quote, wrong, or you could choose gratitude and choose to not take this experience as serious as we all take it, and choose joy in the small moments. And so I say that because all of this, the finding the clarity and the obsession and the taking action, it's like the foundation of it is also gratitude and joy. It's like tomorrow's not promised. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's like, what is the point in us stressing out so much and making this such a, heavy and challenging journey as an entrepreneur? Like, what if we just had more fun? What if every single morning we asked ourselves, how could I choose gratitude and joy today? And then we did that. And then we operated from that space. And I really believe that's like the ultimate state of receiving as well, because otherwise you're focused on what you don't have and what's going wrong. So that's the foundation. So these are the type of people that I want in Obsessed. And it's going to be a combination of marketing strategies, business strategies. I'll teach workshops on that. We've got a thread in there of like funnel reviews and feedback, and the community is already just incredible because it's you guys. And I'm going to combine it with the questions that are going to get you more clear, that are going to get you into momentum, that are going to challenge how much passion and obsession and all-in energy you are showing up with every single week. So embodiedmarketing.com/obsessed, $7 a month. It's the cost of my drink I get at the coffee shop. Literally, that's what I wanted. It is like such a no-brainer. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. I hope this gives you some things to think about and ask yourself the questions. How do I create more clarity? How do I create more obsession and passion in my actions? How do I take more messy action? And what would it look like if I chose to show up from a place of joy and gratitude today? All right, everybody, talk to you next time.